Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive question. What exactly is the philosophy of life of Stoicism? Or, focusing on our main theme, Stoicism ga jivan dashan kya? We are going to break down the ultimate resilience framework for the modern mind. So, let's jump right in.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We'll cover modern stress in life, give you a brief introduction to Stoicism, and dive into emotions and self-control. Then we'll look at yoga and physical peace, the science of positive affirmations, and finally, how to build a balanced and resilient life.
Section 1. Modern Stress and Life. Look, we all know this feeling, right? Dealing with daily stress and that constant fight or flight state. It's like modern life totally tricks our brains into thinking we're constantly running from a tiger when we're really just stuck in traffic or answering endless emails. It leaves our bodies and minds just absolutely exhausted by the end of the day.
And honestly, just surviving isn't enough. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Viktor Frankl hit the nail on the head. Right in the middle of all this chronic, everyday stress, we are all desperately trying to figure out the actual meaning of life. It's incredibly tough to find your larger purpose when you feel stuck just trying to keep your head above water.
Which brings us to Section 2. Introduction to Stoicism. The crazy thing is, the cure for our hyper-modern anxiety is actually ancient. We're going all the way back to 300 BCE. Founded by Zeno of Citium in Athens, Stoicism isn't just some dusty set of academic beliefs, it's a literal daily survival guide. The absolute core of it? Learning the vital skill of separating what you can control, like your own actions and judgments, from what you absolutely cannot, like the weather or what other people think of you. And the whole point of doing this is to reach what they called eudaimonia. Basically, that means achieving a state of lifelong, genuine human flourishing. You get there by aligning your own reasoning with the rational order of the universe, which they called the logos. It's all about finding deep harmony through serious self-mastery. To actually pull this off, the Stoics built their daily lives around 4 beautifully simple cardinal virtues. You've got prudence for making good choices, fortitude for enduring the hard stuff, temperance for self-restraint, and justice for fairness. If you filter every single action through these 4 pillars, it's like building an impenetrable fortress in your mind. Just imagine a Stoic sage standing in the middle of a massive hurricane. Everyone else is panicking, but they are totally untouched. Epictetus described it so perfectly. He said you could be sick, in peril, dying, exiled, or in disgrace, and yet still be happy. It sounds wild, but this exact mindset makes you completely bulletproof against external chaos. Moving on to Section 3, Emotions and Self-Control.
But how on earth do you actually maintain that kind of calm? Well, it all comes down to mastering your emotions. The Stoics believed we have to swap out our irrational passions, which are basically those knee-jerk, misguided reactions, with grounded, clear-headed, good feelings. So instead of blind panic or fear, you practice rational caution. Instead of agonizing distress, you aim for a grounded sense of joy. It's about living in reality. And here is a real game changer. This ancient habit of checking and correcting your internal judgments, that is literally the exact foundation of modern cognitive behavioral therapy. Psychologists today are using the very same framework from thousands of years ago to help us rewire our brains. Pretty amazing, right? All right, Section 4, Yoga and Physical Peace. We've talked about ancient Western logic, but let's look at how this perfectly parallels Eastern physical practices. Because while Stoicism handles the mind, yoga, specifically Ashtanga Yoga, handles the physical side of that chronic stress response. It uses intense mindfulness as a practical tool to literally pull your body out of that exhausting fight or flight mode. By moving through a gentle flow, grounding yourself in mountain pose, releasing it all in a forward bend, and resting in child's pose, you actively dump the physical tension that your unmanaged stress has been hoarding. Honestly, you can just think of it as physical stoicism. Next up is Section 5. The science of positive affirmations. We've got the mind and the body covered, but modern psychology gives us one more tool to complete the whole shebang. Psychologist Claude Steele's self-affirmation theory shows us that intentionally reflecting on our core values helps us keep a resilient mindset when things go sideways. Much like a Stoic leaning on their virtues, affirming your values acts as a powerful shield. And the neuroscience absolutely backs this up. Practicing affirmations literally lowers your cortisol levels, that's your main stress hormone, and fires up the ventromedial prefrontal cortex in your brain. This translates directly to better emotional regulation and healthier lifestyle choices. It tangibly flips those negative thought patterns. So when you tell yourself something like, I am capable of overcoming challenges,
You aren't just being overly optimistic. You are giving your brain a healthy pathway through emotional distress. It physically short-circuits anxiety, bringing you right back to that active, controlled state of a stoic sage. And finally, Section 6, a balanced and resilient life. Let's bring all of this together into a daily routine. Step 1, you cultivate stoic judgment to figure out what you actually control. Step 2, you release the physical buildup with some gentle yoga. And step 3, you regulate those tricky emotions using positive affirmations. This 3-step routine is absolutely your best defense against the chaos of the modern world. The roadmap to eudaimonia is right here. So I want to leave you with this final thought. How are you going to use this resilience framework today? How will you stop just reacting to everything life throws at you and actually start flourishing? Think on that. And thanks for joining this explainer.